Hello and welcome to Our Shakespeare, the channel where I talk about Shakespeare from a 21st century American's perspective. Please disregard the mustache that I'm currently sporting. It is for an acting role and is not a personal choice by me. Today, I'm going to be bringing you another episode of Shortspeare, which is the series where I talk about one of Shakespeare's plays and try to summarize and illuminate it in about 5 or 6 minutes or so. Up today, Twelfth Night. Before we get started, if you like content like this, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel. And unfortunately, I do not record videos enough for YouTube's algorithm to put my videos in front of lots of people. So if you want to make sure you know every time I drop a new video, please be sure to ring that little bell and you'll get a notification about every month or two when I make a new video. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's begin with a plot summary. Twelfth Night finds our young protagonist, Viola, a young upper-class woman, shipwrecked on the foreign land of Illyria. She and the ship's captain appear to be the only survivors of the shipwreck, and so she presumes that her twin brother Sebastian also died at sea. Viola believes that her best play at the moment is to disguise herself as a boy and go to become a servant to the local duke whose name is Orsino. Orsino is in love with a woman named Olivia, and Olivia has no interest in Orsino at all. Also, Olivia has decided that she is not going to go with any suitors at all. She's not going to see any suitors at all until she has finished mourning the death of her brother as well as the death of her father. Orsino doesn't take no for an answer, however, and so he continues to try to woo her and decides to make another effort to woo her by sending a message with his new servant Cesario, who is actually Viola in disguise. Viola is admitted to see Olivia after a verbal tussle at the gate with Olivia's steward, Malvolio, who is rather snooty and puritanical, and she delivers the message to Olivia. Olivia rejects the message, but plot twist, becomes smitten with Viola, who she perceives to be a young male servant. As Viola leaves, Olivia sends Malvolio after her with a ring, which Viola rightly perceives to be a romantic advance. Viola then delivers a soliloquy in which she reveals that she's very concerned about this development and reveals that she is in love with Orsino, which makes for a really awkward love triangle. Meanwhile, Olivia's drunken uncle, Sir Toby Belch, has become friends with Sir Andrew Aguecheek, who is a very foolish knight who has decided that he would like to become a suitor to Olivia with Sir Toby's help. Together with Olivia's lady-in-waiting, Maria, and another friend named Fabian, they share a mutual disdain for Olivia's steward Malvolio because Malvolio is constantly breaking up their parties and preventing them from having fun. They plot their revenge by planting a fake letter for Malvolio to find, and this letter appears to be Olivia professing her love for Malvolio and asking him to profess his love to her by dressing and acting in strange ways. Malvolio takes the bait, dresses and acts so strangely that Olivia thinks he has gone mad and has given him to Sir Toby to be dealt with. Toby declares that Malvolio has indeed gone mad and has him thrown into a pitch-black prison where he is tormented by Olivia's fool disguised as a priest. Also, meanwhile, Viola's twin brother Sebastian is not actually dead, and he has washed up on shore elsewhere in Illyria. He has finally become nursed back to health by a rough sailor named Antonio who has found him. This Antonio has become very fond of Sebastian while nursing him back to health. Now that he is healthy, Sebastian has decided that he would like to go meet the local Duke Orsino. However, unfortunately for Antonio, Antonio and Orsino have bad blood due to a skirmish at sea some time ago. But Antonio is so fond of Sebastian that he decides to follow after him anyway in his pursuit of Orsino. It is now apparent to Sir Toby and to Sir Andrew that Olivia has feelings for Viola. Sir Toby then goads Sir Andrew into having a duel, to challenging Viola to a duel. And as that is happening, Antonio sees this and thinks that Viola is actually Sebastian. And so Antonio steps in to stop the fight. A fight breaks out, and then Orsino's officers see Antonio, recognize him, and arrest him. Later, Sir Toby and Sir Andrew see Sebastian and think that Sebastian is Viola, so they decide to get the fight going again. And Sebastian holds his own in this fight. Olivia hears the fight break out, goes to try to stop it, sees Sebastian, thinks Sebastian is Viola, and therefore stops the fight and makes many romantic advances towards Sebastian. Sebastian happily accepts those romantic advances, and the two of them agree to marry. Soon thereafter, Orsino makes a personal visit to Olivia with Viola in tow. Olivia mistakenly declares that Viola is her husband, which of course enrages Orsino. Sebastian then appears, and everybody discovers very quickly that Sebastian and Viola are actually twins, and that Olivia has married Sebastian and not Viola. Orsino realizes that he's had feelings for Viola all along, and he agrees to marry her. Sir Toby declares that he and Maria, Olivia's lady-in-waiting, have also recently married. Malvolio is released from prison, and before storming off, declares that he's going to get his revenge on everybody. In the end, everybody is happy, except for the Puritan-like Malvolio. I like this play for several reasons. First, it's simply a lot of fun. It's a fun play to read, it's a fun play to watch, it's a fun play to act in. I also really like this play because of the complex gender dynamics that are in it. You have the cross-dressing Viola, who is romantically entangled with both Orsino and with Olivia, a man and a woman. You have Orsino, who falls in love with a woman before realizing that she is a woman. You have Olivia, who falls in love with a woman, thinking that she is a man. And you have Antonio, the rough sailor type, who may or may not be in love with Sebastian. The gender and romance dynamics in this play are very complex and very interesting. I also really love this play's title, and I love this play's title for two reasons. One, its subtitle. The actual full title of the play is Twelfth Night, or What You Will. And it almost feels like Shakespeare was like, I don't love this title. It's called Twelfth Night or whatever. But whether Shakespeare actually loved this title or hated this title, Twelfth Night is the perfect name for this play. And it's the perfect name of this play for two reasons. One, scholars do believe that this play was actually written for the Twelfth Night festivities in one year around the turn of the 17th century, sometime around 1600, that Shakespeare wrote these for Twelfth Night festivities purposes. Second, this play is an excellent embodiment of the Twelfth Night festivities of the Renaissance time. Twelfth Night, if you are not aware, is the holiday associated with the end of Christmas, with the 12 days of Christmas. At the end, you have Twelfth Night. And during Shakespeare's day, Twelfth Night was celebrated by a lot of drinking, a lot of partying, and by disguising oneself as somebody of another gender or another class. And so a lot of that happens in the play. Disguises, drinking, partying, etc. And Malvolio is a villain in this play because he opposes drinking and partying and having fun, which is what the Twelfth Night holiday was all about. And so in those ways, this play is the theatrical embodiment of the Twelfth Night holiday. And that's about all I have time for. Keep an eye out for another video about Twelfth Night coming soon on my channel. And if you enjoyed this video, you can see more videos like it elsewhere on my channel. Fare you well. I commend you to your own content.